Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Farrah, and in today's video I'm going to share with you a book haul that I have had piled up since last winter. Oh, it's so crazy. But anyway, this is a group of books that are brand new. They're brand new books. Usually I tend to go thrifting for my book hauls, but these are books that I purchased brand new or were gifted to me from friends and family for my birthday, which was again last winter. So I don't know why it's taking me so long to make this video, but I wanted to share it with you guys because as of January 1st, I'm going to be doing the Read What You Own challenge for 2026. And I'll have another video explaining what I'm going to do for that, but the time has come to share these books that I purchased with my own money and full price, which I don't like to do, but sometimes it is really fun to do that. So let's get started. They're in no particular order, but I am going to start with my nonfiction first, because when I buy new books, it generally tends to be nonfiction or classics. Those are my two favorites to purchase brand new. So first off, right off the hot trail of Dr. November, I found this book in Barnes & Noble recently when I was there with my daughters, and it sounded really intriguing, and I picked it up. And this is called Agent Zoe, The Untold Story of a Fearless World War II Resistance Fighter. And this is by Claire Mully. And this is a story about a Polish woman resistance fighter during World War II who became the first woman to do quite a few different things. She was the first woman to parachute into enemy lines. She was the first woman to travel thousands of miles from Poland to Britain to complete a few different missions. I think this is going to be a tragic story, but I'm really interested in this because it is a Polish woman, you know, deep within espionage, who is very, very talented, and I've never heard of her. And of course, you guys know I loved A Woman of No Importance about the American spy, Virginia Hall. So I think I'm really going to love this. I probably will save it for Dr. November next year, but if I get inspired to read it sooner, I absolutely will. So we have this one. Then a friend of mine really recommended this book for me. It's called The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. This is a New York Times bestseller, so a lot of you may have heard of it before, but it's nonfiction, self-help, and it is kind of one of those books that helps all of us people pleasers out there, born and raised people pleaser, born and bred people pleaser, whatever the term is. And I do tend to, this is something that I've wanted to work on a lot this past year, is to take care of myself a bit more and to not worry about the emotions of other people affecting how my day goes and how I can better control my emotions. Because I don't know, if you subscribe to that belief that there are empaths out there, or people that tend to absorb the feelings of others or are more sensitive to the feelings of people around them, I have that, or I am that, if that is a true thing. I do get really affected by people's moods, and being around two moody teenagers and things at work and just other things going on in life can really bring me down. I think generally I'm a fairly positive person, but I always get affected by the actions of others, and I'm 46 years old and it's time to stop doing that. So I really hope I enjoy this. I'll let you know, self-help books can be hit or miss for me. Sometimes I don't vibe with them very well, but I was interested enough to buy this at Walmart, so we'll see how that goes. Next, we have this book, which was gifted to me from a lovely friend, and this is called The New York Stories of Edith Wharton, selected and with an introduction by Roxana Robinson. And if you guys didn't know, I am a New Yorker. I live in the state of New York. New York City is my favorite city. I don't get there enough, even though it's an easy trip. But this is Edith Wharton's collection of short stories about her experience of growing up in Manhattan and living there. Now, she's such a fascinating woman when I was looking into her. She was raised both in New York and Europe. She got married to, I believe, a very wealthy man. They built a huge house in Lenox, Massachusetts called the Mount. It had 41 rooms, 42 rooms, something like that. Because of his mental health issues and some things, irreversible damage or whatever, they divorced. She did move to France, where she lived out the rest of her life, and she participated in relief efforts during World War II or World War I. I'm not sure which one of those, but she's a really fascinating woman, and I'm excited to read into her life a bit more. And I've never read any of her actual novels, though. I know she wrote The Age of Innocence, which won a Pulitzer Prize, and I think she was the first woman to win the Pulitzer Prize for her novels. And so she's got a list of everything she's written, and this is just an author I would like to give a try to. So I'm very excited to get to this one. And this is a beautiful edition. It's the New York, our NYRB's edition. So thank you, lovely friend, for giving this to me. Next, we have a book I purchased from a local bookstore called The Science of Last Things, Essays on Deep Time and the Boundaries of the Self by Ellen Wayland Smith. And this one is pretty short, but it just sounded really fascinating. I am fascinated with the concept of death and the afterlife. I'm a very spiritual person. I wouldn't say I'm extremely religious, but I am very spiritual. And I do think that consciousness exists beyond just the physical life that we have here. And so this is a book kind of exploring the science behind some things, and kind of like being able to come to grips to the end of your own existence. And I think that's a really important thing for people to think about, even though it's very uncomfortable in some instances. But working as a nurse, it's amazing when I don't do bedside nursing anymore, but when you experience somebody that has come to peace with their own death and what their death experience looks like, it's so different from someone that is not at peace with their own death, or family members that don't let someone be at peace. And so I just am very interested in the psychology, the philosophy, and the idea of death. So yeah, that should be fun. Next, I grabbed this book called Nature's Ghosts, The World We Lost and How to Bring It Back by Sophie Yeo. Sophie Yeo is a journalist, and she wrote this book as an idea of what the planet would be like if humans never existed and we didn't wipe out the many types of diversity we have on the planet. Now, I'm a huge believer that things happen for a reason, and maybe good things have happened to this planet because of humans, but at the rate we're going at, it sounds like, we're on a downward spiral, unfortunately. But this book had a really interesting concept, and I think it talks about things we can learn and how we can build up our wildlife culture a bit better. This one, I purchased it because it's part of a hiking book club that I keep trying to get involved in. I just don't have the time quite yet in my life. But I do appreciate and grab all of their book recommendations every month so that I can eventually read them on my own time. And then we got two more environmental books, and then we'll move on to the fiction. So I also purchased a copy of Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. And this is a book that's been on my radar for many years, and I finally decided to purchase it on my birthday because I just think this was one of the books that pioneered environmental change and led to a lot of legislative action here in the U.S., most notably the Clean Air Act, the Endangered Species Act, and she really brought to light what the pesticides were doing to the environment and how it was killing everything and destroying our ecosystem. So I know this is going to be a really depressing read in many ways, but I think it's just such an important book within the environmental education genre. So looking forward to this one quite a bit. Then to go along with that, I found this book, also I purchased on my birthday, called Silent Spring Revolution, John F. Kennedy, Rachel Carson, Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, and the Great Environmental Awakening. And this is by Douglas Brinkley. And what he does is he pays tributes to all the people or the crusaders that were involved in cleaning up, or making aware, I should say, bringing to light and awareness the effects of climate change and what we were doing to the environment, especially in the 60s. So it talks about how their actions really helped to change legislature and things going on within the current events going on at that time. So I'm hoping that this is uplifting in ways as well. It's a really long book, so I'll probably take my time with this one when I get to it. But again, it just kind of reinforces everything from Silent Spring, in addition to other people that helped to make changes within the environment and to make the world a better place. So yes, we got some good, exciting reading coming up with those nonfiction picks, I believe, I hope. And now we're going to move on to the fiction. Let's just take a quick sip. I've got some English breakfast tea. I need the caffeine a little bit to get through these videos. I'm trying to film a bunch in a row, so. All right. So I purchased this copy of Dracula by Bram Stoker. I've read this before. I absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed my time with reading Dracula, which I read, I think, 2023. I have a video on my channel, a review of it. But I really liked this copy. I was looking for a physical copy because I did do it as audio and ebook when I actually read it. And this one's just beautiful. It's very simple. It has a beautiful spine. It has gold edges, has a reading ribbon bookmark, and just simple end pages. But the paper is really nice. So I grabbed this copy of Dracula. Let me see if it has an edition type. Oh, it's one of the signature gilded editions, which you can see there. Then I was also given this lovely book for my birthday, and this is called A Month in the Country by J.L. Carr. And this is a very short novel about a British man named Tom Birkin, who's a veteran of the Great War, who goes to this remote village in Yorkshire and restores a medieval mural, I'm looking at the back of the book, at the local church. And I think it's kind of reflections on his life. And he also, I think, went through a nasty breakup or divorce. And it's reflections on his time during that month in the country in the summer. So this sounds right up my alley. I'm sure I'm going to love it, and looking forward to getting to this one. Next we have A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, and this is book 2 in the A Court of Thorns and Roses, or ACOTAR series, which is in the genre of romantic fantasy. And I did read A Court of Thorns and Roses last spring, or last fall, one of those, and I did really enjoy it. I enjoyed getting back into the fantasy genre quite a bit, although the main character of Feyre and her love interest Tamlin drove me crazy. I didn't really like those two, but there were a few other side characters that I really liked, and I've heard this book is even better than the first one. So really looking forward to tackling this series. Yeah, so I am really looking forward to getting into this series as well. And then finally, I have these two beautiful copies that I got on Amazon when they had a really nice sale on them, because they've been on my list for a while. But we have The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, of course. And I just thought this edition was really beautiful. It's hardcover, it has a really pretty cover, and then it has this on the end pages. It's also illustrated, and it comes with a map. So we've got, I'll just give you an example. We've got some illustrations in there, and it has a reading bookmark ribbon in here. And then here is a look, comes with a map. You can see here. And it's just lovely. I'll show you what the book looks like without the dust jacket. So here's what the front looks like, and the spine. So yeah, really excited to have seen these go on sale. And thank you to my brother, if you're watching, who let me know about that. And then of course I had to get The Lord of the Rings as well. So this is a bind-up of the 3 books within The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship, The Two Towers, and Return of the King. And this one has red end pages with the, I guess, what is that, elven writing? Middle Earth? I don't know. I've seen the movies. I haven't read the books yet, though. This one comes with a silver ribbon there. Also comes with a map, as you can see here. And then the actual book looks like, ooh, this. A little less elaborate than the Hobbit cover. So we've got the Eye of Sauron there. And then that's what it looks like. So pretty, right? These are like hefty, beautiful copies. And then I do have another set, and I do have The Lord of the Rings in another set, which is really pretty. I mean, I have these copies. They're in these old vintage designs, which I really like. It's got him on the back. And then I have these as well, these pocket editions, which are really beautiful. They're leather bound, but they're very tiny print, or they have very tiny print in them. So, you know how it gets when you get in your 40s, right, with your eyes. So I think the other ones, I will probably still do this as some kind of, in reality, when I actually read them, I'll probably read them from these copies though. I just liked having the nice ones. So that's my brand new book haul, the last one of the year. Well, I guess if I get any books for Christmas, I might do a quick holiday haul, but that's it. No more books. I'm trying to do a book buying ban in 2026, with a few exceptions, of course. But I hope you enjoyed the video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know if you've had any wonderful new books come into your life, whether they were gifted or you treated yourself. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.